My name is Stephen Martin Welch. I'm a painter and I based my career around portraiture. I enjoy the continual challenges that different characters bring to my work, and they allow me a huge opportunity to vary my style. And no two sitters are ever the same. My guests on this sitting are two of this country's most well-known leading ladies from the world of theatre, TV and film. Geraldine Brophy has established herself as a character actor for 3 decades in roles covering Shakespeare to King Kong. She's a wonderful, colourful presence, and I'm really looking forward to painting her. Siobhan Marshall is probably one of the most recognisable faces on TV from her years as the stunning Pascal in Outrageous Fortune. Her rise to prominence is perhaps partly due to her statuesque physical appearance, which should make for an interesting portrait. So how old were you when you moved to New Zealand?
To New Zealand I was 12, nearly 13.
And you'd come from?
We'd come directly at that moment from Ireland, where I'd been at school, and I had a whole other name, Geraldine Brophy, because of course they were then immersion in Gaelic, and but I'd been mainly to school in England, and so coming to New Zealand was an extraordinarily different.
What was the biggest, from a 12-year-old's point of view, what was your biggest impression of New Zealand?
Well, it was hilarious because I remember in Dublin the uncle saying to us, oh God, you know out there they only wear grass skirts and they eat butter. Going to school and not being understood, because of course I would have had a mishmash of an Irish Dublin accent plus a Birmingham accent plus a Midlands accent, so completely. And one of the first school talks I had to give, because you used to have in the class with the nuns a cardboard cutout television and you had to talk about your life or whatever. And I remember doing that and being asked afterwards by somebody putting their hand up and saying, could I do it all again but in English? And it was extremely strange and foreign, and to a degree for me sometimes life here is still like that.
What's your background? Is your family originally from New Zealand, or are they overseas? Or?
Yep, my family is all from New Zealand.
Yep.
My mum's side of the family, they're from the Cape Verde Islands. So my great-great-grandfather has an F.
Oh, really?
Yeah, or something like that, great, I don't know. But, and Portugal and all around there. And then my dad's side of the family is the English-Irish mixture.
It's a real blend.
Yeah, so I'm a true blue Kiwi though, because I've been here for, how many generations have they been here? 3 or something.
So where were you born in New Zealand?
Auckland.
Auckland? So you're Auckland bred and
Yes.
And schooled and
yeah.
Everything? Your early years at school, say high school, is that when you sort of found acting or?
No, I always wanted to be an actor ever since I was a little tiny thing.
Where's this come from?
Well,
is this from?
I don't know. It's because I wanted to be an actor, an astronaut, a pirate, all those sorts of things.
All the cool things.
All the cool stuff. But then if I was an actor, I could do them all. So I was okay.
So just right from the word go?
Right from the word go, yeah. So I've always wanted to do acting.
So there's no, are there other actors in your family or
Nope.
just you?
Just me, yeah. My first thing was when I was 3rd form, and it was Fiddler on the Roof.
Do you remember that specifically, that whole production going on stage your first time? And
yeah. Oh no, actually my first thing I remember was when I was standard 4 and we did this play called Really Rosie.
Really Rosie?
Yeah, and we had 2 sets of cast, so I was Really Rosie, and then another girl who's actually an actor now as well was also cast as Really Rosie.
Okay.
And the day before we had to do our play, we had to put it on, the teacher said, okay, you're Really Rosie and you're not. And I wasn't.
Oh.
And so she got the part, and I had to play some mother of somebody.
At Standard 4?
At Standard 4. And I remember the whole class cried, who didn't get their role. They were like, cried. And I didn't cry, and I remember my teacher saying to me, I'm really proud of you for not crying. Yeah. But now I just think it's mean. Who would do that to a, Standard 4 person?
Well, you can only have so many.
But he got us all ready to do this role. And
he might have just been covering his bases.
I don't know, I thought it was pretty mean.
Middle school or high school, you were being drawn to the artistic side? The actor was propelling you along, or?
Yes, I certainly felt the need to entertain my classmates and various people like that, but I didn't stay at school very long. I left, and in the 5th form I was asked to leave. And
why were you asked to leave?
I was asked. I just never fitted really with the whole formal education system. Although at the time, I suppose, I was carrying around books like Pedagogy of the Oppressed and School is Dead. You know, the revolutionary that exists.
Yes, probably wouldn't go down that well.
No. And smoking behind a back, bit netball sheds and that sort of thing.
That's
but I used to do free-form dancing in the sort of school hall at lunchtime and a little bit of Brecht.
So in the school environment, you never fit into one of these cliquey groups. You're quite an individual.
My brain doesn't work like that. It works, I think, and see everything like it's a poem, and colours and things. So, maths was... Yeah. But I had a wonderful art teacher, Mrs. Dowling, and even though I didn't pursue the visual arts, what she did was unlock my soul to say that you can be an artist who expresses herself.
This creative self.
This is all right.
High school, did you do tertiary or?
Yeah, I did. I went to Unitec Performing Arts School.
And specialised in?
Acting. So,
Got you 3
years, yeah. 3 years of, now I have a degree in acting, so it's very helpful for anything else that I want to do. Drama school's hard, because they pick you apart.
Yeah.
So it's pretty, it's amazing and it's a good experience, but I found it hard. I love being on stage. Yeah. It's terrifying to me. Stage for me, I love doing it and I need to do more of it, but I am a little bit scared of it.
What do you find scary? Is it the putting yourself out there for...
I don't know, I think it's that...
Or is it the audience are actually there with you?
No, I love that part. I love that part of it. And once I'm doing it, I love it. I just get myself freaked out about it. It's a totally different thing than acting for camera, and it's quite different.
Is it the lead up?
Oh, the lead up's amazing. I love that feeling. Yeah, that adrenaline and your heart going. I love that. It's just I need to do more of it, I think. Yeah.
What's your worst experience you've had on stage? Is it lines or?
I fell asleep once on stage.
You fell asleep. Okay, keep going. You fell asleep because?
I was dead and I fell asleep. I was just dead through a lot of it, and I was just lying on stage and fell asleep. I can't believe I fell asleep.
Oh, so your character's dead, not like you've had a big hard night before and you just feel dead.
No, my character was dead and I fell asleep being dead. But I did wake up in time, so it was good.
So no funky chicken?
No, it was fine. Although, a bit of a what? Oh, yeah.
With your time in Outrageous, she's a pretty full-on character. How do you deal with the sex thing? You know it's coming up.
Yeah, there was actually no nudity for me though.
Oh, was there none?
People think there was, but there was never nudity for me.
I know this sounds a bit pervy, but I'm quite interested in your process that you take towards
doing
a sex thing. Yeah.
How
does that? How do you let yourself get into that character? How do you just?
Well, the first few years of doing Outrageous, it was quite hard. Like I'd get quite stressed out about mainly that would be my biggest stress. I don't know. I think if I'm doing something I'm not really enjoying or feeling a bit funny about, or you get a bit embarrassed or whatever, I just know that it's only going to last for this amount of time. So just do it. Have as much fun as you can. Mm-hmm. I never had to do anything like that with anybody horrible, which was awesome as well. They were all really nice people. Yep. So you feel quite safe with your fellow actor and stuff. But I just made sure I told myself, this is the time allotted to this thing, and then it will be over, and then you can not think about it again. Yeah. But there were times when something embarrassing would happen and you'd think about it, and I'd, 3 days later it'd be a moment where I'm like, oh, that's right, that thing happened. But yeah.
You've done sex scenes?
Yeah, well, what do you think? What's a sex scene?
An intimate interaction?
Appearing to make love with someone. On stage, yes, not on film.
How do you set yourself up for that scene?
It's an imaginative journey. You place the character in that situation. If it is something that works within the context of the story and isn't gratuitous, you're there.
Yeah.
Body thing, you see, because I've been nude on stage quite a few times, and that doesn't worry me either. Again, because it isn't about the action itself, it's about the being, the truth of that person within the story.
Is there something that you draw on personally to work your way through it?
It's a sinking feeling, especially if you're doing something night after night. You sink into a place where the feelings of the character or the situation of the character is something that you can absolutely identify with. You have to go into that place. And it's a bit like being completely naked. If you thought about what other people were seeing or reacting to or how you were doing, you wouldn't be acting, you would be monitoring yourself. So you do have to go back. You actually have to put yourself inside the moment. So possibly it's a mental illness of some sort.
Could be. It's always a challenge painting actors, because my two sitters, like other actors, present a sense of performance in a portrait situation. My challenge is to get my sitters to reveal a facet of their true selves that will make a lasting image on canvas. Do you look at furthering your craft by maybe writing, or?
Yeah, I'm writing a short film at the moment.
Oh, can I ask what's that about, or is that?
Yeah, you can ask. It's about when I was a girl, because my grandfather was a farmer,
Yep.
and he gave me a bull, and so it's just about a little girl whose grandfather gives her a bull, and then, to make a really short story,
Yeah, that's all right.
she gets a bit older. When I was, a couple of years later, I got a cheque in the mail of $70, and that was my bull. And yeah, and that was it. That's the short film. So basically, I used to go with my little photograph on the back of the truck and try and find Larry, my bull.
Your bull.
And yeah, and so then one day I got a cheque in the mail. That's really it. But yeah, one day I'll make it.
But that's an individual take on it. I mean, that's.
Yeah.
I mean, do you like that creative process?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because like, when you're an actor, you're relying on, I mean, the screenwriters and the people who have got the story carved out a little bit, and you're following along where the character's going.
Yeah.
When you've got the creative ability to steer it in your own direction.
Yeah.
I mean,
I do like that, but I think I'm a bit of a perfectionist with some things, because I get really angry if I read it and I'm like, that's so bad.
Yeah.
And I have to go away for a while and come back and go, okay, it's not as bad as I thought. But I'm like that with a lot of creative things. So I love doing it, but I just get picky.
The most exciting thing for me at the moment is the writing, because I generate my own work in that way. And that sort of autonomy I treasure. You can be as anarchic as you like, or you can be as retrospective and classical as you like as well. You can do whatever. It's to switch my mind from art as success and aim for art as failure. And I think if more artists thought about art as failure, they would be far freer in what they do and how and where they do it.
for you personally, what's your greatest satisfaction about what you do?
About acting?
Yeah.
I just love doing it. I love doing scenes, and I love working with other actors, and the feeling you get just when you're doing it, and when it's just all happening, and it just goes wherever it wants to go, and it's just kind of this. It's great. It's the best thing I think exists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it just the act of doing?
Yeah, I think just doing it. It's amazing.
Do you trust me?
Yes.
Oh, I wouldn't. I've got my composition down.
Okay.
I've been writing notes as well next to the rough sketch that I've done of you. I'm happy with the way it's going. I'm happy with your placement. I think that's all we can do at the moment. I'm actually, really looking forward to doing your portrait. It's been lovely to meet you. When the portrait's done, we'll get you back in to do the reveal.
Okay.
And look forward to your opinion.
Yeah.
I'm portraying you how I see you.
Yes.
How does that make you feel?
I don't know. I don't know how I feel. I feel that I feel wonderfully positive about it.
Yeah. Because there was a moment about half an hour ago while we were talking, and that's what I've focused in on. I've got my composition set, I've got my colouring set. I'm pretty happy with where it is. So hopefully it hasn't been too hard.
It's been a delight, Marty.
Oh, that's good. Thank you so much for coming in. It's been lovely to meet you.
And likewise.
We'll walk out and look, as soon as it's done, we'll get you back in.
And give me the fright of my life.
What I'm really loving about Geraldine's portrait is the colour scheme, and especially her hair. It's this wonderful orange and it's curly and it's got auburn and browns going through it. A lot of people get a bit nervous when it comes to curly red hair, but for me, it's just one of the perks of the job. My best case scenario for when Geraldine sees the portrait is that she sees the vision that I've put in it as well. I mean, it's not a happy-go-lucky portrait by any stretch of the imagination. I wanted to capture her in her mode, in her craft, and that's what I've gone for. My biggest challenge with Siobhan's portrait is that her face is so symmetrical. It's very, very even. There's no flaws, and sometimes you use flaws in a face as a marker. So just getting everything in the right place is just going to take that little bit longer. I think if you have a challenge with a portrait, there's little things that you can keep in mind. It might be the size that you've chosen, so you could go bigger or larger. With Siobhan's, I think I might have chosen the wrong size. I think I'm going to have to go a little bit smaller and make the portrait just that little bit more intimate. And I think that'll suit her. So, this is it. How are you feeling?
I'm a little bit nervous.
Yeah? Okay. Well, look, we won't make it any harder than it is.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go back and put on the easel. If I can just get you just to stand just here for me. Great. Don't turn around. I'll be back in a second. Okay. So it's on the easel.
Okay.
Just turn around when you're ready. Okay. Give me a sec to get out first.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye. Ooh. Wow. Man, I wish I could do that. I look quite kind of regal, which is cool. And I look quite tough. I've got quite sad eyes, so look at them. Wow. Yeah, it's pretty full on. It's weird because it's really soft, but then at the same time there's a real kind of harshness and stubbornness about it or something. It's cool.
Hey. Silence.
Yeah, it's good. You're very, of course it's good. It's all of the things you do, it's good.
I think it's quite intimate. I think because of its size, I generally don't work small. I find small works very hard.
Really? Why is that?
I just don't know. I like the freedom of having a big open sort of space to work with.
And so I was like, oh my gosh, what's he gonna do?
Yeah, so that's the freedom that I love, where I can go back and just pretty much do what I want. It's a typical head and shoulders on different levels. The sadness, the defiance, strong character. Yeah. This is it. We'll get you just to jump into it. No waiting around.
Right.
So if I can just get you to just face me. I'm going to go and put it on the easel. Just stay here. Don't turn around till I come back. Okay.
I'll be good.
Okay, I'm going to leave. When you're ready, you just turn around. Okay?
All right.
All right, good luck.
Okay. Oh, she's lovely. Oh my goodness. Oh, I think that's really beautiful. How lovely. What a gift. Oh. Doesn't feel like it's me because, of course, it's so rare to see yourself as other people see you. But I think that's lovely. Dear, I think I did say to him that he could do wallpaper. Oh, it's what is said. I think that's what's truly incredible about Marty's talent. That she's just lovely. Thank you. Thank you very much. Not remotely what I expected.
No?
No, not at all.
What did you think was going to happen?
I suppose I expected, because I'm a chameleon for a living, I expected a spread on the canvas of the whole of my face.
Yeah.
I probably expected something more comic, maybe. Mm-hmm. Something that you thought was lighter. I think you've taken my ordinary and made me beautiful, so thank you.
No, I'm really pleased.
I just think it's lovely.
Oh, good, good.
Let me introduce you to one of me.
Oh, this is the other one of you. Look at you.
Isn't that wonderful?
That's amazing. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It really is.
Beautiful.
Everybody expects us to be brash and out there, but we all also need to be vulnerable and afraid in order to do what we do, or we couldn't. We couldn't empathise with the characters that we play. Yeah. So that's probably true too.
Yeah. Yeah, should I show them my way? Yes. Okay. Mine's this little fella over here.
It's almost like we've had a love-making experience with our beautiful portrait painter, but not the real intimacy on that level. And what's come out of that intense intimacy is this fabulous birthing of a great spiritual image.
Yeah.
Are we lucky?
We're very lucky. Yeah.